Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Med Edophilia. Today's video is going to be all about biology. How to keep reading NCERT biology particularly over and over again without getting bored, and at the same time how to remember those points endlessly until the exam. So by now most of you would have completed the syllabus, and now is the time for revision and reinforcement of the subject. You might have studied the book for n number of times, but still, now at this point of time, you need reiteration. You need to keep looking back at what you have already studied so that it doesn't seem new at any point of time. So, when you keep doing this again and again, at one point of time, some of us might get bored, or some of us might lose that same in enthusiasm and interest that we had initially when we do it for the first time. So that's why here I am with some of the useful tips that you can follow to make this journey interesting. The first method that most of us which we follow is the normal book reading, in which we highlight important points in different colors using different symbols in the book itself, so that the moment we open the book, the point which is highlighted the most catches our eye first. So that's one way of doing everything in the book itself. Then, second tip, what else can you do? So, this tip is useful especially during revision when you want to revise a chapter very, very quickly. What can you do at those times? So, that's when you start recording. So, you read the chapter, you understand the chapter, and you know which points are important the most and which points you are likely forgetting. Right. So you record those in your own voice and you hear them when you don't feel like opening the book and studying all the way from the first line till the last line. So at those times you can simply listen to your own voice in which you have recorded the entire lesson, explaining it to yourself in your own learning style. So this is advantageous for quick revision, and this you can do it at any time when you just have your phone. You can play the recording and listen it when you're probably eating your dinner or lunch, or when you don't feel like actually opening the book and studying, or as you just walk around your house for just a little span of relaxation. So this is how you can lessen your burden. Now, tip number 3. So, this is again a pen paper method in which you write down the most important points. Here, what do I mean by most important point? This most important points varies according to each person, because these are the points which you keep forgetting over and over again. These are the points which you have made mistakes and errors in your previous mock tests. So, these are the weaknesses. So, you've got to jot down these points in a paper. So, roughly say for one chapter you have about 10 points. So, what do you do each time you read that chapter? So, first you've got to go through those points, those important points you've written it down in that paper first, and then you go on to read the chapter. This you can do when you have a crunch of time. That is, you already know the chapter, like you have a basic gist of the chapter already, but still you need revision for maybe a mock test tomorrow. So, what do? You just concentrate on those important points, those points which you keep forgetting, and that will do. And next, we have tip 4, which is the PDF tip. So, we would have all used NCERT biology to an extent up to which it is now in a condition of tearing, and it's almost in pieces right now. And you've already highlighted, underlined, and written down important points in your textbook itself. So every time you open the book, you tend to skim through those points which you have highlighted, or you've underlined too much that you've actually underlined the entire book. So, what do you do at this time? You need a fresh mind, you need a fresh textbook. So, what do? You got to download the PDF from the internet, and here you get the fresh textbook without any markings. And this I find it super cool than reading from the textbook. But yeah, this varies from person to person, and this you see is my NCRT textbook PDF. And here it has an amazing option of read aloud, in which you can just, when your eyes get strained a lot, you can just click on this button in which it'll read for you, and you can just keep listening. And when you've highlighted it 2 or 3 times, you see that when as it reads, those points will be repeated the number of times you have highlighted it. That's again an advantage. So here you don't have to download any app or anything. So this is just when you are too lazy to record it in your own voice, to sum up the lesson in your own voice and then play it, you can download this PDF ready made. It will read every line of NCRT aloud for you, and you can just listen to it. And here you have options to either fast or slow the pace of reading according to your comfort. So here is another advantage of adding notes, in which it saves a lot of space. Whereas in a textbook you cannot write all the points, as there's a very limited amount of space. This again for some might cause strain to the eyes, but yeah, it's up to you. If you're comfortable, go ahead, otherwise chuck it. Next, we have the last tip, which is tip 5. When you're too tired of reading NCRT biology, you now jump into question solving, which is the retrograde method. You solve questions, find out your mistakes, find out your weaknesses, and then cover those topics from the chapter. That is, when you're too lazy or when you feel too bored to keep reading and reading and reading, what you do is solve questions from a particular chapter. But remember, these questions should be framed from within the lines of NCRT and not too much outside. And make sure these questions are framed from every topic, every subtopic, and all those topics are covered, so that you don't have to go back and read again. And when you make mistakes, then you can only go and read those topics alone. So that's it, and I hope these tips would have been useful and will be helpful to keep your studying and revision going.